Klein from BrewBru here, welcome back. So we're going to be making a chocolate stout today, that's the plan. I'm being ably assisted today by my son Ryan because, as you can see, I've had a little bit of an accident. Managed to rupture my Achilles tendon, but nothing stands in the way of brewing. So we've already got our RoboBrew here up to mash temperature, which today is 75 degrees, so mash temperature, and then we'll drop that down. So I'm just going to reset the temperature on here to 66, 67, and then we'll mash in. So we've got, in terms of grain bill, we've got 5 kilo of Mars Otter, we've got 400 grams of Brown Malt, we've got 400 grams of Flaked Oats, 330 grams of Crystal Malt 60L, and then there should have been 250 grams of black patent malt, but I couldn't get it. I'm expecting a delivery of grain, but with COVID-19 everything's just taking so much longer, so we're going to have to kind of change it a little bit. So there's also 650 grams of chocolate malt, so what I'm going to do, or what I have done, is put 900 grams of chocolate malt instead, which should give us kind of pretty much the same thing. So we've got that all kind of weighed out here in our bucket, so that's ready to go. So we'll reset the temperature on this and we'll mash in, okay? Okay, so as you can see, we're at 74 degrees here at the moment. Our temperature was set to 75, so I've paused it, which you have to do in order to change the temperature, and then we just hold the temperature button. No, I haven't paused it, I tell a lie, it is now. Then hold temperature, and then we're going to drop that down to, let's say, 66, and then hit play again. Now I've turned off the 1900 watt heater, I've just left the 500 watt on because we're going to put the malt pipe in now. So malt pipe here. So I've got this kind of all set up already, so just a quick reminder, so the thicker one goes on the bottom, then you've got this fine mesh goes on top, that just drops. And then we've got our little handle we can use, and just drop that in. And so the reason that water was at a higher temperature previously is obviously when we drop this in, the temperature is going to drop a little bit. And we've also got our bung on top, which stops the grain from getting down into the middle. So we'll mash in now. Just grab my spoon, and we'll just take this fairly slowly. So obviously all our adjuncts on top, so all our kind of special grains, that's the chocolate malt in there. We've seen some of that Flaked Oats. Okay, so just need to give it a good mix in. So there was just over 18 litres of water in here, our kind of strike water that we're mashing into. It's already starting to smell lovely. So we'll get the rest of that mashed in. So we're trying to avoid dough balls here, so kind of clumps of grain. So there's one there. That's what we're trying to avoid, so we're going to try and mash them up. So just give it a good stirring in. So obviously with this being a stout, there's quite a lot of the chocolate malt in it, which gives it the kind of dark colour. Now interestingly in this one there's also some lactose. Now it goes in, you don't actually have to put it in on fermentation day or on brew day, you can put it in later as an additive, and that's probably what I'm going to do unless my delivery comes today, in which case I may well add it today, but we'll see, we'll talk you through that later. But for just now, I was wondering why there was water on the garage floor. It's because of that heater. Okay, so it's starting to thicken up nicely now. So I think this is kind of quite a strong one as well, this recipe. Oh no, actually it's, no, estimated alcohol, so 6.7 it's supposed to be, so hence the kind of the high grain bill, which takes us to, we're aiming for an original gravity of 1071, which is quite high. It'll be interesting to see whether we hit that or not, but we'll see. But there's certainly there's enough grain here to be able to do it. Just keep going, we're almost there now. We might need to give this pump a little bit of a blast just to give us some more water up top, but we'll see how we get on. So you're kind of looking for a kind of porridgey consistency. The key thing is just making sure that it's all mixed in. If it's not all mixed in, you're just not going to get the benefit from all those starches from being extracted from the grain, which is what we want. So just make sure you give it a good mix. They're quite hard work, this actually, which is good. I'm needing a good workout because I've not been getting to the gym since I ruptured my Achilles tendon, which incidentally was at the gym. Alright, so we're getting there. Last drop. Okay, so that's all our grain in now. That Morris Otter obviously kind of being the main base for our stout today. Right, so I'm just going to turn this pump on. Just give us a little bit of water up here. Also lets us go a wee clean to the side. Okay, that should do us. Just let that drain over the side. There we go, that's making that a bit easier. Lovely jubbly. I think this is one of my favourite bits of brewing actually, is the mashing. Just smells so good, feels so good. It's just lovely. So we're pretty much there now, I think. Just go around the other direction just in case there's any at the bottom that's not fully mashed in, but I would say that's looking pretty good. So what we'll do now is we've got our, where's it gone? So we've got our little kind of grain barrier on top, so we'll take off our little rubber bung. So that can come off, and then we'll pop this on here. It doesn't have to be pushed down too firmly, just kind of sitting on top, and that's just going to stop some of those grains from coming back up and down into kind of the bottom of the RoboBrew again. So what we'll do is we'll turn this pump on again, and we'll give it a little bit of wash. So our temperature now 69, so that'll come down a little bit. Just give this a little wash. That kink out. Okay, so we're just going to adjust this now, adjust how much it's pumping through, and we'll stick our little gadget on top, which just lets the water get back down. I'll try and fix some of these grains in actually, keep us clean. Okay, so that's probably still too fast at the moment. So what we're aiming for here is to get the water kind of coming back up, being recirculated, so that it just settles nice and slowly down through the grain bed. So we're wanting it to just seep through it and get as much of those starches out as possible. If we've got it on too fast, then all that's going to happen is it's going to overflow down there. We're going to get no benefit really out of those starches that are in the grain. So we're just aiming to get a nice kind of steady flow on it. That'll just let it seep through. So that's pretty much it now. So we're at temperature, so we're going to leave it mashing for, is it 60 minutes? Yeah, 60-minute mash, so we're going to leave it for 60 minutes, and then we'll sparge, so we'll come back in an hour. Oh, cool. Yo, so it's been an hour, and we're pretty much ready to rock now. We've got our sparge water here coming up to temperature, so we're just coming up for 74-ish. We're looking for that to be 74, 75, which is pretty much exactly what we're after, so we'll just crank that down a little bit. So what we're going to do now is we're going to turn this pump off, and we'll just let this drain a little bit. There we go. Make sure we get as few drips as possible. And just swing this out of the way. Okay, so swing this out. You get the drip in there. A bit of a camera issue there, so we switched to phone camera. So yeah, so we've got it all here. So we're just going to lift this out and just let it grain, let it seep through now. So and just turn it, let it rest on our arms there. That's us. So we just leave that, and then what we'll do is we're going to let that grain seep through for a bit, and then we'll add some more sparge water in. So we've got, it's about 16 litres of sparge water. Yeah, just over 16 litres of sparge water at 75 degrees, which is pretty much exactly what we're at. So just take a little bit of time. I'll show you what we do with the first set of that sparge water. It's just repetitive, you just kind of do the same thing over and over again. So we'll show you how we do that for the first time, and then we'll come back when we're ready for boil. Okay, so we're just going to start sparging now. So if you have a look in the RoboBrew, you'll see that our kind of water level has fallen down below our kind of top grain guard. So all we're going to do is just kind of lightly pour this water in. So I normally do kind of a couple of litres at a time. A couple of litre waters in, just let it seep down again below that level. Rinse and repeat until you've got all your sparge water in. So remember, we're doing 16 litre sparge water. So we just keep doing that until we've got up to our pre-boil volume, which is around about 27 litres today. Yep. Okay, so sparge has been finished. So we put 16 litres, was it? Yeah, 16 litres. So if you have a look now, you can see all the water has drained away through here, and we should have 26, 27 litres in here pre-boil. So if we have a look on here, 30, 29, 28. So yeah, just between 26 and 27 litres. So if you have a look in here on the RoboBrew, it's got a little measurement thing obviously, so 30. So we're between 26 and 27 litres, so it's looking good. So I've cranked the temperature up on here to 101. So we'll just wait for that to come up to boil. So yeah, we'll wait for that to happen. So it'll take kind of 10-15 minutes maybe. So come back. We'll come back just as it's coming to boil, and we'll get the hot break, and we'll take it from there. Almost up to temperature now. So we're at 100 degrees. So we're just coming up to boil. As you can see, it even looks like a lovely stout already. Look at that lovely chocolatey colour. So we're going to get a hot break in a minute now. So the key here is to keep stirring, because otherwise you'll get a big boil over, which we do not want. So we just got to keep stirring it, keep the froth off. If worse comes to worse, we can kill one of the heaters here. I'm just going to take the temperature down a little bit, but what we're wanting to do is just keep it stirring, get rid of all those kind of proteins and stuff that will be floating to the surface, and it will settle in, and then we'll get a nice rolling boil, rolling down the river. So yeah, we'll get a nice rolling boil here. We're not far off now actually. See how that kind of foam on top, that head is starting to dissipate, which is exactly what we're after. So let's see how it's looking now. Let's see if we can get a boil on. Oh, yeah, we're still at 100, so yeah, we're just starting to boil. And we've got our hops already. So we've got 80 grams. Now it should have been East Kent Goldings that we're using here, but again, because my delivery didn't come because of stupid COVID-19, I've had to substitute a little bit, so we're substituting for Fuggles. It's not identical, but it's not a bad match. So we're going to sub with Fuggles. So we've got 80 grams going in at 60 minutes, so that'll go in for the full boil. And then we've got 25 grams going in for the last 10 minutes. So the last 10 minutes obviously kind of key part of our boil as well. So we'll come back at the 10-minute point, but I'll just wait a second, and you should hopefully be able to see the nice rolling boil coming on this baby in a second. It's just starting to fizz up a little bit. Here she comes. Anticipation builds. Yeah, she's looking good. Now, one thing you'll notice is I don't have my lid on. That is intentional. So you could probably actually get on with putting the lid on while it's come to temperature, but once it's boiling, you don't want the lid on, because while it's boiling, there's like some horrible gases and stuff. Google it, they'll tell you what it is. But basically you don't put it on, because that can actually put some bad things back into your beer, which can spoil the taste a little bit. So important that when you're actually got the boil on for your 60 minutes or however long, that you've got the lid off, and that'll just kind of keep all those nasties away. So that's pretty much up at a rolling boil now. It's not quite there. It's not far off. Probably just the outside temperature here is not helping an awful lot, but we're getting there. And both our heaters are still on. There we go. Okay, so just boil away quite happily there for 60 minutes. What we're going to do is we'll throw our hops in here. So I've got a little hop bag, so we measured out our 80 grams of Fuggles in here. And all I tend to do is just drop them in, and I usually just clip it on the side here. Oh, what a lovely waft of hops you get. Just clip it on the side. That just keeps that bag there. And then what we'll do with the 25 grams that goes in at 10 minutes, we'll just pop it into the top of that hop bag as well. Some people think that, you know, you're best off firing your hops in, not putting it in a hop bag. I tend to prefer, especially with the RoboBrew, putting it in a bag, because otherwise you tend to find that all that hops just kind of goes all gungy once the hops kind of start to inflate and things, you know what I mean. And then it just goes down, end up clogging your pump, and you just end up with no end of trouble. I don't think there's much of a difference in terms of flavour. I think you'll still get as much flavour with a hop bag as if you were to just fire them straight in, so I tend to prefer hop bags, much cleaner. So if you have a look there we go, nice rolling boil, so you can see it's boiling up. We're not getting any of that kind of foam building up as well, so that'll just sit there quite happily now for an hour. But we're going to come back in 50 minutes, like I mentioned, because 10 minutes before the end of the boil, really key step for a few reasons, which we'll come back to. So come back in 50 minutes, or because you're watching this on YouTube and I'm going to wait 50 minutes, watch this. And we're back. So 10 minutes left to boil, and I said there were some important things. So we've got our counterflow chiller here. We're going to stick it in here. And the reason for that is, if it's not obvious, leaving it in boiling water for 10 minutes is going to disinfect it. So any kind of little nasties that might have been living on there will get killed off. So we'll connect our hose up in a minute to that. So all we've got is, so one end here, voila, here, we'll go on here. So this is kind of connected up to my cold water tap, to my garden tap. So it will fire cold water in this end. There we go. And it goes round, 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 and through the wonders of science. And what's it called? It's called, it's a heat exchanger. That's it. So basically, as it goes round, 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 it absorbs all the heat. So the cold water absorbs all the heat, and then this output here. Oops. I've got another hose that will connect from here. It goes into my drain, and basically you're kind of just getting rid of that cold water, getting rid of the hot water, so that takes the temperature of it down. So yeah, that gets disinfected. The other important thing at 10 minutes actually is our other hops. We need to get our other hops in, don't we? So we've got the 25 grams to go in, so I've got them pre-measured out here in this little tub, so we can fire them in here. There we go. And we'll just tie this off, and what I'm going to do is just probably just plonk it in there, because it will actually float to the surface anyway. So plonk that in there. So that's our hops in, and then we've got Irish moss protofloc. So this just helps it coagulate, so it helps all the kind of proteins just stick together, and that helps us get a clearer beer. So it goes in 10 minutes before the boil, and usually you don't need much. You need like 1/4 teaspoon if you're doing a kind of standard 40 pint brew, so 23 litres. So 1/4 teaspoon, sprinkle it in, and just let it do its thing. So 10 minutes, and then we'll kill our heaters, flame out they call it. So we'll flame out, and I'll have my other holes connected up by then, and we'll just get it down to temperature. Right, so 10 minutes over, so we're going to kill our flame. So we'll just turn our two heaters off, job done. And then I'm going to turn the tap on. Now I'm wanting to use some of this warm water actually, because I'm going to make up some new star sand solution. So if we turn this on. So our temperature at the moment is obviously about 100 degrees because it's been boiling. Yeah, that's roasting. Lovely. You can see how hot it is. So that's obviously just cold water coming in. It's picking up all the heat from in here, and we're getting all the goodness out of it. Now, kind of flow rates in terms of these things, I've experimented quite a bit with kind of slow, fast, and actually tend to find that that kind of speed tends to work pretty well. So you do want to go in pretty fast around it. The faster it goes, obviously the kind of actually the less heat it's going to pick up, but the longer it's in there, it doesn't kind of work the same either. What I tend to find is the first 10 minutes or so, the temperature drops quite rapidly, and then after a while it does take longer, and that's when I found that the faster flow when the temperature goes down does seem to make a difference, kind of getting that temperature down a bit. The other thing is just actually giving it a stir as well, because the water specifically around your counterflow chiller will kind of be cooler than the rest of it, so give it a good stir up, which just mixes it all up, and then make sure that you're getting as maximum efficiency out of your counterflow chiller as possible. So we'll do that, we'll get it all kind of cooled out. We can take our hops out just whenever. We'll just take our hops out now. And we'll also take an original gravity reading as well, so I'll tell you what that is. I'm not going to bore you with doing the original gravity reading, there's plenty of videos on kind of how to do that. So we'll check back in once we're down to temperature and ready to pitch our yeast. So it's been around 10-50 minutes or so. The RoboBrew is showing 17 degrees on here. I don't find it to be particularly accurate actually, especially with kind of falling temperatures. So I'm just going to give it a little bit of stir. So sanitized spoon, so it's just in my star sand. Actually, let me grab the thermometer. Oh, it's nice and warm. Right, so if we take a temperature reading, so we're looking for this to be down kind of 20, 21 before we pitch our yeast. So we're almost there actually, so 22, I think we're probably about 21. Yeah, so we're kind of just under 22 there at the moment. So yes, that's kind of come down nicely. The one thing I did do actually, I was saying about kind of circulating it, I just put my pump on, obviously helps circulate the water as well, which kind of brings it down to temperature. So yeah, it's showing 16 degrees now. There's no way that's 16 degrees, but we're in the ballpark. So what we're going to do now is we're going to start something out of the way. So we've got our Chronical fermenter here. So we'll get it into place. And we'll clear a little bit of room here. So we've got our yeast starter ready. So I made up the yeast starter a couple of days ago. So that is using, it's one of the White Labs yeast, I think it's WLP001, I think it is, just a normal ale yeast. So that's kind of sitting ready for us. We'll take, in fact, let's take an original gravity reading just now. Oh, that's looking promising. So our desired original gravity was 1071, so I did think we were going to kind of struggle to get that high actually, but we're not bad. We're at 1060, 1062. I would say we're about 1068. So we can get rid of some of the bubbles on there. Let's see, it's 1050, 62. I would say 1068. That's not bad. So I'm just going to write it up here actually. So OG 1068. That's quite nice. Should be a nice strong stout for us. I'll try a wee sip, boy. Got we done. Oh yeah, that's nice. Lovely and sweet. Really is nice. So give that a dip, stick some water back in there. So what I'm going to do now is move this. In fact, let's turn this off. And turn the pump off. Let that drain a bit. Swing that around, let that drip in there. And I'll disconnect these. Get rid of that so we're not leaking in here. I've got a little bit of leak there. And this one here can come off. There we go. I'll just stick that down my overflow. Take this out. So you see on the counterflow chiller, you see these little blobs. So that's where the Irish moss, the protofloc, is just kind of grabbed some of the things. So we'll just pop this outside. Give that a clean in a minute. And so we'll pop this up. Just move that in. It's not easy when you don't have two. So normally when I'm brewing, this RoboBrew will be up here anyway, so I don't have to kind of worry about moving it. But I want to just have it down there because it's easier with this boot on just now. So what we'll do is we'll get our Chronical in place. We'll give it a little spray of Star San, wherever it's gone. There it is. We'll just give us a little spray. It's all been done already, so we sanitised this earlier on. Make sure all our valves are closed, which they are. So we can just go for it. Lovely jubbly. Look at the colour of that, eh? That is going to be a nice stout. Nice stout. What I'm going to do is grab my here. So we're obviously wanting to make sure that it is the right temperature for pitching. Yeah, so that's down 20 degrees now. So it's perfect pitching temperature. So come back in 2 and we'll pitch the yeast. So we've got our yeast starter here. So now that we know it's at temperature, all we're going to do is just pitch it in. So there's 2 ways. Again, there's like loads of YouTube videos on this. So I've made up a litre starter and left it for a couple of days and just given it a swirl every so often. I don't have a stir plate yet. I'm going to make one. You could let this settle. So you can put it in the fridge, let it settle, and then kind of drain off the wort from it, and then just leave the yeast. For the sake of a litre, I'm just going to pitch it in here. It'll not make much difference in the grand scheme of things. So what we're going to do is just pitch it in here. Whoa! Now we have got, so that's a pretty big volume. So I did forget to actually check our post boil volume, but I think we're around about 24 litres post boil. So given the little bit that's left in the bottom, we've probably got 24 litres, so yeah, we'll be at 40 plus pints. Now, obviously aeration is key. Now all I do to aerate is little whisk, electric whisk. I've got the end for it in my bucket of Star San. So it's all sanitised. All I'm going to do is jam it on here and give it a whirl. Now, we need to be careful here that we don't overflow a bit, so when we just leave that, so usually about a minute or so. So what I'm going to do is just use a bit of Star San just to kill some of those bubbles. Won't do it any harm. We'll give it another blast. You just want to drink it right now, don't you? Well, I do. Maybe you don't. So we're just getting as much air in there as we can. Nice. And that'll just help the yeast fire up into action. I'm probably going to leave it there. That's looking pretty good, I would say. So we'll just take that off. I'll give that a clean in a minute. So all we're going to do now is pop our lid on, and again we'll just give it a little bit of a spray with Star San. Pop it in here. Just take it away from the edge a little bit. Okay. Put our clips on. Now I'm not going to put a traditional airlock in here because I think this is going to be pretty vigorous fermentation, as hopefully you'll see shortly if I remember to video it. So what I've done is in my fermentation fridge, so I've got an old Lucozade fridge here that I've repurposed. So if you have a look inside, so we've got 3 little tube heaters. So these are the 45, so between 40 and 60 watt. 3 heaters in here, hooked up to my STC controller here. So STC 1000 controller. I've got the temperature set at 20 degrees, variable kind of 1 degree, so it'll just kind of kick in. So because it's generally pretty cold here, I don't have any fridge, I don't have any cooling element here. All I'm interested in is keeping it up to temperature. So once it's at temperature, the heaters obviously kick out, they'll stop, and then once it falls below temperature, they'll kick in and just keep us at a nice steady temperature. So we've got that in here, and then we've got an overflow tube. So you'll see I've got a tube here going into a little jar there, a Star San, and we'll pop that into the top, and it just saves us kind of messing about with any kind of traditional airlock. So we'll get this in here just now. This might be interesting because I'm going to put a sight glass in the bottom of the Chronical. So yeah, it might be a little bit of a struggle. So I'll get that in there. I'll save you the pain of seeing me put it in here. So come back in a jiffy. We're just going to put our blow-off tube in. So I've again just put a drop of Star San on it. So pop that in there. So that's obviously going down. Now I'm going to put my sight glass on it as well. So this is my sight glass here that will just allow us to harvest yeast. So again, a little blast of Star San. Same for thingy. These have all been sanitized already, but it doesn't go wrong. And then we pop this on the bottom. There, like that. Get our tri-clamp on. Okay, tri-clamp on. If I can just turn that around a little bit so we can get access to it. Okay, so sight glass on, we've got a stopper on the bottom. So what we'll do is we should be able to open this dump here. So there's already obviously a little bit of stuff collected in the bottom, but that'll come out. So you can see some of the grain here that's come out when we're transferring it, but that'll come. Just give it a little bit of a wiggle. Doesn't matter too much actually. So yeah, we're pretty much set up. So we've got our sight glass on. That'll free itself in time. And we've obviously got our blow-off tube in. So now it's just a case of waiting for the yeasties to start eating all those starches and pooping out alcohol. That's what we want! So here we are about kind of 12 hours or so later. Our temperature is about right, and don't know, can you hear that? We're fermenting nicely, as you can see. Blub, 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 blub. So we're looking good. Got our little sight vessel on. So yeah, we're all looking good. So nice healthy fermentation. So we just need to wait now for beer. Okay, so chocolate milk stout, milk chocolate stout, whatever you want to call it, chocolate milk stout, milk chocolate stout, I don't know. Anyway, we've now decanted it into our corny. So we've also made up some lactose. So all I've done is taken 250 grams, mixed in with some hot water, just enough kind of just to stir it up. and we're just going to dump it in here. So in she goes. There we go. A little bit of sediment in there, and actually we've still got some water here from a sparge I was doing. So let's just take a wee bit of that. Give it a wee swirl around. Make sure we get all that lovely jubbly goodness out. Plunk it in. And we're going to stick the lid back on our corny. Okay. Back on, and what we'll do as well is we'll just give this a little bit of blast of CO2 just to get rid of any oxygen that might have bumped in there. Pressure up a bit now. Let's turn the pressure back up to 10 on that. Okay, so I think we're good with that now. So that's our milk chocolate stout. I've also put 5 litres just into a demijohn here, which we're going to try without the lactose in it, and we'll see kind of whether there's much difference or not. So it's all looking good. What I haven't done is taken a final gravity reading, which I will do, and come back and give you the reading. So here we are. We came out around about 10-12. So original gravity 1068, final gravity 1012. So we came out around about 7.35 there or thereabouts for our milk chocolate stout. So looking forward to tasting it. Actually, I've had a wee sample out of the sample jar. It is called a sample jar after all, and it is lovely. There's like real chocolatey, like coffee notes there. It is absolutely delicious. So I might post a little update once I've kind of got a glass and it's kind of carved up a little bit. But otherwise, I hope you learned something from this video, and please like if you like it and subscribe. Thank you.